What's up guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel, and for today's vid, I will be doing the activities in chapter 11. So, if you want to learn something about the chapter 11, so please stay tuned and stay watch for to learn something about the activities or the lessons in chapter 11. So, I will be back guys. Hi guys, so for today's vid, I will be doing the activities in chapter 11. So for our first activity, the title of our activity is Part 1, Security Threats and Vulnerabilities. So for this activity, I will be dragging the security threats and vulnerability scenarios, and I will drag each scenario to its corresponding type of security theft. So there are 4 types of security theft. The first one is the information theft, the second one is the identity theft, then the next one is the data loss manipulation, and the next one is the disruption of service. So there are security threats. The first one is sending a virus to reformat a hard drive, then altering data records, then preventing legal users from accessing data services, then stealing scientific research reports, then stealing a company's user database, then the next one is overloading a network to keep users out, then making illegal online purchases, and the last one is impersonating someone to obtain credit. So the first one is the information theft. So what is the security threats in the information theft? So the first one is stealing a company's user database. So the next one is the identity theft is making illegal online purchases. Then in the data loss manipulation is altering data records. And for our disruption of service is overloading a network to keep users out. So for our next in disruption of service is preventing legal users from accessing data services. Then for our data loss manipulation is sending a virus to reformat a hard drive. In the identity theft, impersonating someone to obtain credit. And the last one for our information theft is stealing scientific research reports. So let's see if our answer is correct. And it's correct. So you have successfully matched each scenario to its security threat type. So this is our first activity. The security threats information theft is stealing scientific research reports, then stealing a company's user database. Then for our identity theft is making illegal online purchases, then impersonating someone to obtain credit. Then the data loss or manipulation is the altering data records and sending a virus to reformat a hard drive. Then disruption of service is overloading a network to keep users out, preventing legal users from accessing data services. Okay guys, so for our second activity, the part 2, security threats and vulnerable. So as we answered the part 1, so the instruction here is video security management practices. So the security management practices is label critical cables and components, then control temperature and humidity, then control access to console ports, then use security cameras, then create positive airflow, then install redundant power supplies, then install UPS systems and lock up devices to prevent unauthorized access. Then there are the appropriate security management type. So the first one is the hardware, the environmental, the electrical, and the maintenance. So we will be dragging each management practice, security management practices to its appropriate security management type. So the first one is hardware. So the hardware is lock up devices, prevent unauthorized access, then use security cameras. So later on, we will be checking if it is correct or not. Then environmental is control temperature and humidity. Then the next one is create positive air flow. So for our third one is the electrical. So the electrical is install UPS systems. Then again, install redundant power supplies. And for our last maintenance, so the maintenance is label critical cables and components. And the last is control access to console port. So let's see if our answers is correct. And it's correct. So we have successfully matched each security practice to its security management type. So for our hardware, for our hardware it is the lock up devices, prevent unauthorized access, then use security cameras. And for environmental is control temperature and humidity and create positive airflow. And for our electrical is install UPS systems, install redundant power supplies. And for our maintenance is label critical cables and components and control access to console ports. Okay guys, so for our third activity, I will be doing the activity types of attacks. So the instruction is determine the types of security attacks described. Then drag each security attack type to each scenario. So there are security attack types. So we will be determining if the types of security attacks, if it is corresponding to the attack type. So for our first attack type, so security attack scenario. So computer is used as a print server for ACME Incorporated. The IT staff failed to apply security updates to this computer for over 60 days. So now the print server is operating slowly and sending a high amount of malicious packets to its NIC. So what attack type, or what type of attack is that? So worm is the attack type for that security attack scenario. So the next one is Sharon, an IT intern at ACME, noticed some strange packets while revising the security logs generated by the firewall. A handful of IP addresses on the internet were sending malformed packets to several different IP addresses. So at several different random port numbers inside ACME Incorporation. So I think it is the reconnaissance. So let's see if it is correct. And it's correct. So successfully match each security attack type to each scenario. And for our figure 2 or the part 2. Okay, so for our part 2, the security attack scenario. So Jeremiah was browsing the internet from his personal computer when a random website offered a free program to clean his system. So after downloading and running the executable, the operating system crashed. So crucial operating system related files had been corrupted and Jeremiah's computer required a full disk format and operating system when installing. So I think it is the virus. So the type of the attack is the virus. So for our second one is Ariana found a flash drive laying on the pavement of a mall parking lot. She asked around but couldn't find the owner. So she decided to keep it and plug it to her laptop, only to find a photo folder. So feeling curious, so Ariana opened a few photos before formatting the flash drive for her own use. So afterwards, Ariana noticed that her laptop's camera was active. So it is the Trojan horse. The type of the attack is the Trojan horse. So let's see if it's correct. And it's correct. So you have successfully matched each security attack type to its scenario. And for our last figure, Angela, an IT staff member at ACME, notices that communication was with the company's web server is very slow. So after investing, she determines that the cause of the slow response is due to a computer on the internet sending a very large number of malformed web requests to ACM's web server. So it is the denial of service, or the DOS. And the last one is George needed to share a video with a coworker. So because of the large size of the video file, he decided to run a simple FTP server on his workstation to serve the video file to his coworker. So to make things easier, George created an account with a simple password file and provided it to his coworker on Friday. So without the proper security measures or a strong password, the IT staff wasn't surprised to learn on Monday that George's workstation had been compromised and was trying to upload work-related documents to the internet. So the attack type for that is the access. So let's see if it's correct. And you have successfully matched each security attack type to its scenario. Okay, for our next activity, the show command. So read the show command scenarios and drag each show command to the field next to the appropriate scenario. So the first one is you suspect there is a problem with your current switch configuration. So you want to see the save configuration so that you can compare it what is currently running. So the show command is the show startup config. And the second one is you are on a call with the Cisco Technical Assistance personnel. So they ask you for the switch iOS name, the RAM, the NVRAM, and the flash available. So they also ask for the hexadecimal boot location. So it is the show version. So the third one is you are running the EIGRP routing protocol and need to know the update intervals and what active interfaces and networks are being advertised by your router. So it is the show IP route. Then the next one is you cannot get to the internet. You need to find out if your router has a path to the internet and which protocols are being used to provide the paths. So it is the show IP protocols. Show IP protocols. And the next one is your network documentation really needs to be updated. A quick listing of the IP addresses of your routers in relation to their MAC addresses would help finish the task of recording process. So it is the show ARP. And the last one, a switch is the closest intermediate device to you. It has 24 ports. You want to see a simple list of the ports being used. So their status and the VLAN IP address of the switch. It is the show IP in brief. So let's see if it is correct. And it's correct. So you have successfully matched each show command to each scenario. Okay guys, so for our last activity in chapter 11, so the title of our activity is Order the Troubleshooting Step. So drag each step to the field next to its appropriate description. So we will be dragging first the step 1 down to step 6. So the first one is identify the problem. So the next one is after they identify the problem, establish a theory of probable causes. Then after they establish a theory of probable causes, the next one is the test the theory to determine cause, and the fourth one, or the step 4, is establish a plan of action to resolve the problem and implement the solution. Then the next one is the step 5. It is the verify full system functionality and implement preventive measures. And the last one, of course, the step 6, document findings, actions, and outcomes. So let's see if it's correct. It's correct. So you have successfully matched each steps to its description. So guys, thank you for watching, and that's all for my video. And I hope you learned something about chapter 11, and I hope you got some informations in chapter 11. So please like and subscribe to my channel, and please hit the subscription bell. And I hope you have a great day. So thank you guys.